Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Always Aggressive podcast. I'm Hunter Massengill alongside head coach Tony Ursuline, Tanner, Corey behind the scenes. As always, how's everyone doing today?
I'm doing well. Just got done with morning workouts. No school for the next month, so it's all just focused on wrestling.
Train, train, train.
It's a wonderful world.
It's a good time of year. I mean, student athletes, obviously they're here for their schooling, and that's the most important thing. But it is nice just to be able to not have anything else to worry about when you put the schedule together. You get practice whenever you want.
You get 100% of their brain for the next, 3 weeks?
Let's hope that's the case. But yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's fair. Fair point.
So we got SIUE coming up on Thursday.
Take off tomorrow.
At 7 p.m., right, kicking off on Wednesday. The biggest thing that stands out to me is that it's a Thursday match, which will be the earliest in the week that the team will have wrestled. Is that changing the schedule? I mean, obviously, like we just talked about, you get to practice whenever you want because there's no classes or anything. But how's that changing your schedule with a day or two earlier than you're used to getting ready for?
No, I mean, we break things into like 3-day training cycles is basically how I like to do it anyway. So it's just a 3-day segment leading up into that duel, and we just follow our plan on that 3-day segment. You know what I mean? On where your high volume days are, where you're working your technique, how you want the weight brought down. You just start with that and work it down. And so the plan's already in place, and so we're just following the plan as we go into holiday break.
And you've got a lot of new guys that are going to be facing this team for the first time. And I mean, obviously 2 years ago, took on SIUE here at home, winning that one 31-9. But only 3 guys from that lineup are going to be in this lineup with Leidy, Bruner, and Max Lyon, the only guys that have taken on SIUE.
Mm-hmm. It's a situation where, coming off finals, I put the duel in because you want the guys to get right back, into that frame of mind where they're thinking about competing, training, executing, all those things. So, even the last week, you kind of, it's a big week for the kids. Finals, you've worked 16 weeks for these grades. It's important that you finish strong. So you shift a little bit of your focus, and so it's a very different schedule last week, as we mentioned, on last week's podcast. So, now it's get them back where they're really thinking about, their sport and executing and being better. Mm-hmm. We are going to take a short break, but this really is designed to, get back in that rhythm of improving week to week and really setting your sights on what's ahead.
And it's a really interesting way to look at it. I was doing a little research this morning, going through some different team schedules in the Big Ten, and not everybody does it this way. Not everybody wants to get back on the mat here this week before the holidays. Some teams have like a full month off between competitions, and so there's different ways to skin the cat. But obviously I know I get paid to say this, but I like the way you look at it and getting them refocused before we kick them loose, and the fact that make them make weight one more time.
Yeah.
Make them get dialed back in after that grind of finals.
I mean, honestly, last year I saw it differently. We tried it differently, right? So you learn.
There's some trial and error.
There always is, like anything. And so last year we came out of Vegas and we gave them the whole month. Now we trained, obviously. We're going to dismiss the guys at the same time on December 20th. But last year we were done, and then we went through finals, and then we just trained for another week, and then I kicked the guys loose, and we had duels down at South Beach. And I honestly didn't like how that worked out. I thought we were a little sluggish. Mm-hmm. We were a little slow kind of getting back into the rhythm. And so this year I really made it a point to make sure we had something to train for following finals. So we'll pay close attention to how this works out. But right now I like where it's at. It's forced the guys to be more disciplined and really get ready, where maybe they were kind of, hanging out in their mind a little bit too much.
And I'm sure that focus is something that you're having to really, for lack of a better word, focus on in the wrestling room, just because, on the other side of SIUE, these guys get a break that, a little bit of a mid-season break, which we'll talk about in a minute, but making sure they're staying focused on the task at hand, that they have an SIUE team coming up, they've got another duel before we head off to Midlands and Big Ten schedule, to be able to stay locked in for these next couple days and not overlook the Cougars because they've got a break coming up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Every match is important. This match is just as important as Vegas. And obviously people talk about the importance because of the matchups and the number of teams. But really, anytime you get an opportunity to compete, you got to take advantage of that, and you've got to go compete at a high level to get better, right? Consistency is what kind of defines, greatness. You know what I mean? Talk about Drew Brees last night, right? There's a Purdue guy. That guy has had consistency over his career, and here, look where he sits. At the top of the NFL, quarterback list with yards and touchdowns.
As I put on Twitter last night, that man had zero chill last night.
Yeah,
he was all business all the time. That was unreal to watch.
Right. If you look at high performers, that's what they are. They're very consistent, and this is another opportunity for us where we need to be consistent. We need to come out. We need to take advantage of the opportunity to compete. Certainly, don't waste it. Right. Use it to get better. As a wrestler, and the routines you're trying to establish as a competitor. So, that's my hope, is these guys will be ready to go and compete at a high level. That's what it's there for.
And on the other side of on the other side of the duel, you do have a little bit longer of a break with Christmas, letting the guys go for a couple days. How important is it to you as a coach, to your coaching staff, and even the team to kind of get that mid-season break to rest, recover? These guys, they've had a tough season up to this point. Give them a chance to take a break, let their bodies recover a little bit for an extra couple days, and I imagine even for you coaches, get a chance to kind of reset and get ready for the gauntlet that is the Big Ten season.
No, it is important, right? You have to have time to relax and enjoy yourselves. I'm certainly going to enjoy time with my family, and I'm sure the boys are going to enjoy time with theirs, as will all of us. So I think that's hugely important, to just kind of go get refreshed and get away for a little bit, and then come back and just really renew your focus and your passion for what you're doing. I will mention we won't have as long of a break, coaches, because Coach Soufflon is competing at the U.S. Open down in Dallas-Fort Worth Saturday and Sunday. So for anybody wanting to follow Jake,
get him, Souff.
We are going to fly out. We're going to get back really late on Thursday night after the duel, and then Coach Vega, Soufflon, and I will be jumping on a plane Friday morning. Jake's going to make weight and compete Saturday, Sunday. So I won't be getting home for Christmas until the evening of the 22nd. But it's worthy cause to watch Souff compete. He's put a lot of time and effort into it, and so we're excited to kind of go down to Dallas and watch him.
Are you a mere spectator at that event, or do you get to be Matt's side at all? Do you get to help him during the match?
No. Vega and I will be in the corner, so maybe we'll get to throw the brick or challenge a call or get loud a few times, but it's going to be fun. I'm excited to watch Jake. Like I said, it was a couple years ago. He was third at the U.S. Open, and then he had the unfortunate knee injury, had surgery, had to take a year off. So, this is his first tournament back, and we're really excited to watch him.
Are you going to be hosting the team over this week, like you did on Thanksgiving, getting the chance to be able to hang out with the guys?
So it's interesting.
Did it last night.
We did it last night.
Oh, yeah.
It was not at my house. We cater meals in for the guys over break. They're actually down eating breakfast right now, or brunch. And so in the J9 room, where they kind of have the student-athlete meals, weekly, is where we got together last night, had a meal catered in, and we did our white elephant gift.
I bet that was a trip.
Best white elephant gift. Yeah. Or best or worst, however you want to look at it.
Man, I tell you what.
Did anybody show up with toilet paper again?
No, we did not have anybody bring 2 rolls of toilet paper, which I was refreshed to see that. There was some.
It's useful,
There was a.
It's fair. It is useful.
A paint crew shirt. There was a gold paint crew shirt basketball
nice.
That showed up. So I was surprised to see that at a wrestling.
That's pretty good.
White elephant party. We got some hunters. We had some hunting gifts. Man, we had a knife set. That was interesting. We got a lot of coffee drinkers, so there's a lot of coffee mugs or things like that around. It was pretty good overall. It was pretty in good taste for the most part.
Good.
But so we did
for the most part.
For the most part, I'll leave the rest of that out.
It's a family show.
It's a family show. But no, we had a great time. It was we had dinner together, and then we just hung out and did gifts and enjoyed each other's company. So with it being a short week, that we had to do it. So it was a Monday night, and like I said, we're going to get on the bus tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, for a 4-hour trip down to Edwardsville, just northeast of St. Louis. So if anybody's looking to make a trip to watch the Boilers take on the Cougars on Thursday night, have to leave about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get there from campus, but it won't take too long.
Not if you live in Missouri. We got our Boilers in Missouri and Central Illinois. They can get over there.
Very true. Don't want to overlook the Cougars. Don't want to overlook Christmas break.
Nope.
But we won't have a show next week or the week after, so we won't get a chance to preview Midland, so we're going to do it today.
Merry Midlands.
Just a short trip up to Hoffman Estates, Illinois. It's just west of Evanston, technically hosted by Northwestern, I believe, right?
This year number 3 in the Sears Center, Tony?
Yeah, I believe it is 3, and I know just talking with Tim Saseski, who's the tournament director, it sounds like they like their contract out there.
They do. He said the same thing to me in Vegas.
Sounds like we're going to stay there for the foreseeable future. You know, originally we had moved off because Northwestern Welsh Ryan Arena was under a renovation,
right.
And so we thought it was just going to be a short. When it was finished, we'd be back in there, but that certainly isn't the case. They like where it's at now.
And I actually think they made, having been to the new Welsh Ryan a few times for basketball, I think the floor is smaller.
And that might be why they're keeping the tournament out there.
They may not be able to move Midlands back into Welsh Ryan, honestly, out of pure size. You know, they took the gym out of the back.
Yep.
So you can't put mats back there anymore.
Yep.
So it's all, yeah.
And the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates has just a lot more amenities, hotels, restaurants, things like that Evanston kind of doesn't have.
Not for that many wrestlers.
Yeah, you're staying in different,
Skokie.
areas. You're staying in Skokie, right, exactly, to get over to Evanston. So that makes sense.
Similar to Vegas, very similar style of tournament. Obviously very similar in terms of the talent that you're going to see there as well.
Yeah, another really good test for our guys. From what I understand, the tournament's probably full right now. They're not taking any more entries, and so I would expect each weight to be deep, similar to Cliff Keen, and there'll be a lot of good battles and a lot of good tests. And to me, that's a perfect test for us, because we'll have Midlands 29th and 30th, and then we don't compete again until the 12th, which, funny enough, will be at Welsh Ryan against Northwestern. But that we've got 10, 11 days there to kind of go back, work on some things, and get the guys ready for that Big Ten season.
Well, as we've talked about multiple times, never be able to get away from the Big Ten. There's going to be plenty of.
I'm looking at the field right now. Big Ten schools that are going: Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Northwestern, Purdue, and Wisconsin.
And so that's interesting, right? So we had 6 teams at Cliff Keen, I think Big Ten, and the ones that we didn't primarily see at Vegas will now be at Midland. So we'll get a chance to see just about everybody from those 2 tournaments before we duel.
And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of teams that you've already seen there too as well. And
a lot of them, actually, to be honest with you. You look at Cal Poly, we've seen a bunch of them. We've seen a little bit of Central Michigan. We've seen a little bit of Harvard. We get to see North Carolina for the first time. They're coming.
That'll be good.
Get to see Northern Illinois again. Get to see Northern Iowa again. Get to see Oklahoma again.
So there's a chance in here for some guys to have some repeat matches, maybe for the first time this season against teams that they've seen. A chance to be able to wrestle someone that they've already seen wrestle in person, maybe at some of these other tournaments that you've seen wrestle at some of these other tournaments. Does that change their preparation at all, especially maybe some guys that have already competed against someone and beat them can maybe be in a little bit of a dangerous situation that they might get a little bit overconfident going into a match facing a guy that they've already beaten, and they feel like that I've already got this in the bag.
No, well, I mean, you want to guard against that, right? Your preparation is always the same, in my mind, right? I mean, I think we've talked about a little bit about that before. I don't want guys to get outside of, what their mindset is, how they want to go compete. So when you put your foot on the line, you know exactly how you're going to execute. Your effort should always be high, right? I mean, you're going to compete hard. You're going to compete to the best of your ability. So any adjustments you may make could be very minor, just of a technical nature. Certainly you would never expect a letdown because we've beaten a guy before. Every time you step on the mat, it's like flipping a coin, right? You've got a 50-50. There's win and lose. You got 2 choices. You're going to win or you lose. So every time it's 50-50. Mm-hmm. Now, you always try to put the odds in your favor through your hard work, your preparation, your diet, your rest. You try to stack the odds in your favor through your preparation. But honestly, when you put your foot on the line, we're going to go execute, and you're going to follow the game plan. There might be minor, differences in your approach. Like if we got beat and he was riding legs on us hard and we got rode out, okay, we're gonna make an adjustment in terms of that. But the rest of it is going to be identical because we do not want to get out of our routine or our mindset.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask in regards to Vegas, which I forgot to ask a couple weeks ago, was you and the rest of the coaches and your guys' preparation. You don't want the team looking ahead to matches that they have ahead of them, to stay focused on the match that they have at hand. But do you and your coaches get a chance to look ahead for them, be able to scout some guys that you know they're probably going to see in matches that are ahead, and be able to, you know, make your way around the arena.
I drive Tony crazy that way because I'm already looking at trips like through the end of January, and I'm asking him about stuff, and he's like, Tanner, I don't know. He's like, just put names down. It's fine. Like, he's like, we're gonna change them later anyway. You know, like he gave me the names. He gave me the names for Midlands already. I'm not putting those in the computer. I know that they're not right.
Mm-hmm.
He knows me well.
I know they're going to change, but yeah, I drive him nuts with looking ahead.
So do you get to see guys, you know, around, especially at tournaments like Vegas, tournaments like Midland, you get to look ahead for your team?
Yeah, you know, we have guys, you know, who will, you know, scouts. I use that word lightly because we don't do a deep dive into film or a deep dive into watching opponents. Like, I think you can get overly concerned, right, with what your opponent's doing, and then you forget to execute your plan, and there's a real danger in that, maybe in all of sports, right? So, but you look out for tendencies or positions that they might be outstanding at. You know, I'll use Lighty for example. We wrestled a young man from OU, Anthony Mantanona. Very dangerous from the overhooks.
Dude,
you know,
loves to throw people.
Loves to throw. He's very dangerous. Lighty likes underhooks. But for this particular young man, is, hey, you know, we can't bury our hooks in there because he's going to snug up our elbows and he's going to look to throw. So, you know, that kind of a situation you handle. You say, okay, hey, Dylan, instead of us, you know, working our hooks so much, we're going to work this tie or that tie. We're going to approach it, you know, our attacks from maybe this position. And so, like I said, you know, you don't make wholesale changes, but just minor things that can help you avoid some problem situations, right? And that's all you're really trying to do. You know, you don't want to give so much information to your kids that that's all they're thinking about, because now, you know, our game plan went out the window. Mm-hmm. So there's a balancing act there that we as coaches try to use with our guys.
And I think the reason for those that may be wondering at home, to kind of be a bridge here between coach and everyone else, is these guys, when you're telling these guys to prepare their way, prepare for their style, because you have such big differences in preparation time, right? So even in tournaments and other sports, same thing in wrestling, you know your first match for like 24 hours, 48 hours. You know the first guy you're going to go up against. The second guy you're going to go up against, you're going to have about an hour or two to prepare for that guy, which is why it's important to prepare your way for your match and wrestle your style, because you can't, just based off of logistics, you can't prepare for anyone other than, you know, you can't prepare for the guy that you're going to wrestle after the guy that your first match is against.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, in our sport, you know, you could have 3-4 matches in a day, right? I mean, now a one-day tournament like the Michigan State Open, you might wrestle 6 in a day. Mm-hmm. So certainly you don't have a lot of time, and then that's where, like I said, your preparation takes place before you even get to the venue. So you hope you've prepared your guys from that standpoint, and then you just give them little pieces of information that can help make the difference in the match for them. You know what I mean? But by and large, it's, hey, you pat them on the butt, you send them out there to put their foot on the line, you say, hey, go do it. You know, it's in your hands. You know, go do it. And that's what I think probably all of us love about the sport. You know, it's in your hands. Take care of it.
Right. Well, due to the schedule and the holidays, we'll take the next couple weeks off. Obviously, Boilers have SIUE on Thursday, and then next week is Christmas, and then Midlands next weekend, and then New Year's. So we'll be back the week after New Year's. It'll be probably a little bit longer of a show, just because we'll have
a lot to catch up on.
There's going to be a bunch. There's going to be a bunch.
And not only that, we've got the Big Ten season to preview once we come back, because the
well,
day that we come back,
I want to know what everybody's going to get for Christmas too. So I mean,
I got a rock.
I didn't give my family any
Did you name him?
ideas.
Yeah.
Tony.
That's apropos.
There we go.
That's apropos. Thank you.
But we'll also be able to preview the start of the Big Ten season. We'll probably get a little bit of a lay of the land when we come back of what the Big Ten season looks like this upcoming season. But we're going to start off with Northwestern and Iowa, a couple of very tough matches. And you get Iowa at home this year, which is always a big one.
Always a big one.
For you especially. Alma mater, for people who don't know, for Coach Ursuline. But it's going to be hopefully a packed Holloway gym. I know tickets are on sale now already, so people can come watch the Boilers take on Iowa for the first time since the Boilermaker duels, which was over a month ago.
It'll be an interesting one. There's the timing is going to be kind of dependent on CBS and pro football and men's basketball, and so we'll get everybody the start time for that one as soon as we can.
Yeah. A little glimpse into the scheduling world, the
This is
broadcasting
wild.
world. We are waiting on when our match is going to be based off of when a
AFC
basketball game.
Well, no. It starts with the AFC playoffs.
Right. There's a domino effect here.
Yes.
Right? That starts with the AFC playoff game, an AFC playoff game, whether that's played at 1 o'clock or at 4:30, which will move a basketball game.
Yeah,
I believe.
the men play Michigan State in
At
Mackey that
at
day.
either noon or 3:30.
Right.
And we will subsequently go 4 hours after when the men's basketball tip-off is.
So
Did you stay with us? Are you
for
there?
those of you that are trying to put it in your
Check.
schedules, just pay attention to when that AFC playoff game is, and
About a week out. We'll know about a week out.
Right, that'll be your indicator of when the Boilers will be at home.
So I want to jump in before we sign off. You've been coaching a while. You've coached around the Big Ten, and I know
He's old, so yes, he's been coaching a while.
I'm right there with him. You've got connections to a lot of schools, but nothing's like your alma mater. Does it ever get old? Does it ever get tiresome? Is it still special to coach against your alma mater? Was it ever special to coach against your alma mater?
Yeah, so the word is interesting to me when you say special, right? I'm always excited to compete against my alma mater. I mean, I do. They have great tradition, and I have a lot of fond memories, in Iowa City there at the University of Iowa. So yeah, I'm always excited to wrestle the Hawkeyes. Absolutely, 100%. But I think I learned a long time ago that it's about the job at hand, right? Sure. And so that you're always so focused on that you don't really, maybe you don't enjoy it in the moment like you should. Is when I look back, right? Like it's just something like you're so busy preparing that I don't probably enjoy it as much as I should possibly. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of see it. It's just another important duel for our guys, and we're going to prepare hard, and we're going to really be dialed in. But a lot of fond memories there, and so it's always nice to to wrestle the Hawks.
It's sort of the human condition, right? We don't appreciate it until it's over.
Yeah, it's like the year, right? Like this,
Yeah.
We're going to blink, and the year's going to be gone. And I tell the guys that every year, and here we are at Christmas break already, and the guys are like, yeah, this is going really fast. And I'm like, yeah, don't blink. We're going to be in March here in about 2 seconds. So
especially for guys like Dylan and Christian.
Yep, and you should, right? We should enjoy this. I mean, otherwise, why would we do it? And I got to remind myself that often if there's anything that, and I know we're kind of taking a foray around the bend here, but if there's anything that I do try to remind the guys, because it's been my own personal fault, as I competed and even now coached, it's you got to enjoy the journey, because sometimes you get to the end and you're like, well, that's it. You know what I mean? Like you got to really enjoy this, the process of it. And so, when I talk to the guys I think sometimes they think it's just coach speak. But I mean, honestly, every year is different. I can say I was fortunate to be on national championship teams at Iowa, and I enjoyed some years more than others. You know what I mean? And you say, well, you all ended in a national championship. They were all different. Each experience is different. Each year is different. Different guys, and even if it's the same guys, you're older. You're a different man than you were before. And so, you got to really enjoy it and take it for what it is.
I think that's something that's you're gonna have to keep preaching, because I think it's gonna be a tough one to get through these guys' heads. I mean, it's something I don't think you can understand until you're on the wrong side of it.
Yeah, there might be that too,
Well, if no one has anything else, we'll say goodbye for now. As always, if you have any questions and comments, you can send them to @Purdue Wrestling across all social media platforms. For Coach Tony Ursland, Tanner, Corey.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays. As always, boiler up.
We got really existential there at the end.
Yeah, right?
It's good stuff.